Legacies, yes indeed. Speaking of legacies, I was actually going to do this fucking video on special relativity, which is one of my favorite things. Not only because it, you know, disproves the entirety of religions that hinge on free will, but um, also because it's super cool and it's crazy. But um, last night I happened to catch uh, a couple of moments of President Obama's farewell speech. So, I mean, I'm not going to get into the minutia. I'm not going to get into the absurdity of, you know, his claims that he created X number of jobs, you know, while completely ignoring that he let more people into the country than the jobs were created. So the job numbers actually went down by millions. Um, I'm not going to uh, belabor the ridiculous tropes, uh, partisan tropes about global warming, or his excuse um, excuse about, you know, post-racial, you know, that thing, the post-racial thing. Although that does really tie into the title of this video, which should very well be how Obama failed. And I'll just stick with the the wasted potential. I mean, when he was elected, he really he had the freedom to do any goddamn thing he wanted. Um, Not as far as pushing bullshit socialist ideas, which were fought. I mean, his own party even had to be bribed into signing on to the Affordable Care Act. The unions had to be employed to lobby for the fucking thing, and of course, then they all uh, required to opt out. You know, not that socialist bullshit, that partisan bullshit, which, you know, ties into how he really failed, because he was not a leader. He was a politician. He was a petty, vindictive politician. He was all about the party. I guess because the party put him there. So, you know, he thought that the party ideas were larger than what ideas he could have come up with. Maybe that's the case. Maybe he lacked the imagination. Um, his his own racism, did that? I mean, it's as if he became president and he said, "Okay, I'm the first black president, so all I have to do is just be black and be president, and I'm done. Like, my job is done. All I got to do is ride the wave of publicity." I mean, the media treated him like a rock star superstar, and I don't know, maybe he thought, okay, the party put me here, the media put me here, they treat me like this rock star, so all I have to do is be a rock star. I really don't have to do anything. I'll just go through the functions of being a politician and go through the functions of being a rock star, and my job is done. Um, you know, but I came across a picture yesterday on the internet. Jack Smith looking at pictures on the internet. And it was President Obama snorkeling over some fucking reef, and all the sycophant zombies were posting underneath saying, "Oh, it's so wonderful that he brought attention to global warming and he stopped the climate right there." That, the thing is, he was fucking he was fucking snorkeling. I mean, it's only 8 years. It started out as, could have been only 4 years. Instead of giving speeches that lifted people up, that pulled everyone together, instead of giving speeches that you can achieve, we are great together, he gave speeches that gave people an excuse to remain exactly as they were and wait for things to change around them. You can achieve, you make your world. You are not a victim of bad stuff, bad racism in the world. I mean, I'm sure racism was part of what made racism against him. I'm sure he perceived that there were big bad forces out there. I'm an outsider. Uh, it's because of racism that my father left me. Who the fuck knows what his crazy father taught him? His father was this goddamn crazy communist, and so was his stupid mother. So, liberals think everything is super racist and shit like that, but and you have to rely on the government to help you do everything. You cannot do anything yourself. So he did not inspire people to achieve. It was just like, oh my God, Obama is this magic president. Maybe someday I can be the magic president. Like, yeah, that kind of amorphous idea was out there that, he magically became president, so the magic forces of the magic government can make me president. I guess that's it. But nothing like start your own business, be your own person. So his message was nothing. His message was basically, everybody loves me, I magically became president, and magically you can become president too. But there's really bad stuff out in the world that's going to stand in your way or stand in the way of the magic thing. Like, there was no connection between, take this step, take that step, take these steps, and you will at least succeed for yourself. It was just really bad stuff out there. A magic thing happened to me, just like the magic thing happened to Jay-Z, this ugly guy who could say some words and suddenly he's a rock star because some record company made him a rock star. That rock star thing, I don't know. It's not only is that unrealistic, but of course he had a bunch of Keynesians advising him on the economy, so he had all his economic stimulus completely failed. What he should have done was, instead of spending $1 trillion on, I don't know, companies like Solyndra that went down the tubes, propping up banks that made bad investments and ran themselves into the ground, and then driving up regulations to put companies out of business. Meanwhile, the government hiring tons of people, unionized vote slaves, and pissing away money on road signs and shit and fake infrastructure, make work jobs. He should have simply just cut the payroll taxes to the tune of $1 trillion. The government will not take in $1 trillion worth of our estimated payroll taxes from people or businesses. That would have put, increased everybody's, oh, fuck. Yeah, breakfast on fire, never a good thing. Yeah, cut the payroll taxes. Everybody would have had 30% higher pay every week for like, I don't know, a year. Businesses would not have to match those payroll taxes, so the business itself would have this huge expense cut, and everybody would have kept their fucking jobs, and the the economy would have been booming, just booming. But the president had no idea what the fuck he was doing, because he was just an empty suit. He was just a fucking rock star politician who, goddamn, I mean, his ideas were like fucking college kid ideas. They were ridiculous. So, yeah, that's how Obama failed. And the problem with him not inspiring people to achieve means they didn't achieve. They did not achieve because he did not inspire them to achieve, except in maybe some kind of weird way. It's a tragedy. I mean, he could have been some kind of like JFK meets MLK, but instead he was just a silly politician who now in his farewell speech has to lie about the shit he accomplished. And that he knows that the country was so fucking desperate after all his goddamn failures. I mean, Jesus Christ. The same shit he criticized Bush for in the Middle East, he did the same goddamn thing. Criticized Bush for taking out Saddam Hussein. He takes out Gaddafi. Creates the same goddamn power vacuum. Anyway, yeah, won't specify the failures, but it's just goddamn sad. It's fucking sad. Luckily, half the country is too stupid to fucking even understand it. But, yeah. Jack Smith out.
Jack Smith.